Live, right?
And who am I talking to? Everybody? Authors?
You're talking to everybody right now.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're having some technical difficulties, so I appreciate your patience as we work out some of the glitches. We're hoping to go live with all the beautiful material that we have prepared for you in about 10 minutes. So you are in the right place. We are going to be talking with the amazing authors of the Animal Legacies. So stay tuned. We should be back in just about 10 minutes. We appreciate your patience.
Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. I apologize for the delay and appreciate your patience and have us holding space for us as we bring this forward in a live format. We've had to do a little bit of working around, so you may hear a delay here and there, but we are thrilled to have you joining us. So thank you so much for being here today. We're very excited to be talking about the animal legacies. So you all know you're here and you're in the right place. Thrilled to have you joining us. I'm going to take just a moment, and we have a beautiful introduction by Maureen that I'm going to bring forward, and then we will get started. Welcome, everyone.
It's picking up from two different systems.
Okay.
I'd say kill it.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. So we are still live. Everyone, here's an opportunity we have to move forward when things go unexpectedly. So here's what we're going to do. We have beautiful videos that have been prepared and introductions that we will release and make available once we're able to get the technology out. It'll be in a replay format. But for now, so many of you have joined in. We want to give you an opportunity to be able to hear from some of our authors that are able to join us live. I want you to have the opportunity to interact with them on this amazing book. I'm Rebecca Hall-Greider. I'm the compiler and the leader of this powerful anthology. It became a #1 international bestseller in multiple categories and countries. It's such an honor to bring it forward. And one of the things I think is magical about this book is it touches you right in the heart. So as you go through the journey, these messages, the wisdom, everything being shared by the authors goes right to your heart. It empowers you, it encourages it supports you. There's nobody that can read this book and not be transformed and not be encouraged, empowered. It's going to touch your heart, touch your spirit, and you'll hear the beautiful wisdom that is shared by our animals to us. And I think sometimes we're moving so quickly in life, we miss the messages, we miss those moments. So while we have this time together, I want us to take a breath, connect in, slow down a little bit so that we can connect in mind, heart, and spirit. And we're going to give the opportunity of our authors who are joining us live, if they want to be organic with us, be introduced live, share a little bit from their heart. They're going to let my tech team know. If you could just send a quick message to the tech team letting me know that you're up for that, I will be happy to introduce you and have you share. We'd be thrilled to do that. And those of you who are viewing, if you have a message, if there's a way this book has touched you or something you're hoping to learn, please send us a quick message as well. We'll be happy to include that in today's agenda because it now is our agenda. It's live, it's organic. We are here together to connect heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit and move forward. One of the things I did is we were working through some of the tech issues. We have an Animal Legacy deck, just holding that up for everyone to see. And I drew a card because there's different messages from our animal friends on the cards. And so I drew one. And this was the message I got. Enjoy the moment. Express yourself with gusto and drink fully from the cup of life. And this is a message from Grandma's Crows. So to learn more, you have to read the story in the book about Grandma's Crows. But I thought, what a great opportunity to enjoy the moment, even when it doesn't go quite according to plan. still choosing to shine, still choosing to take advantage of the opportunity that we have to connect. It's such a special and sacred thing when we have a moment in time together and we're able to connect mind, body, and spirit. So thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to take a moment with the tech team, see if we have anyone that is leaning into going live. They're reading the messages, so we can have a little drum roll for dramatic effect. Okay, so Dr. Michelle, fabulous. Anyone else? Suzanne, okay, great. Ariel, wonderful. Neela, wonderful. And those are the ones. Okay, great. Thank you. And then we also, do we have Maureen joining us? No, so Maureen was, okay, that's all good, Okay, great. Well, let's start with Suzanne. So Suzanne, I had you listed first. I want you to take a breath, get ready to share. We're thrilled to have you joining us. And let me do a more formal introduction of Suzanne Tybalt. She is just an amazing animal communicator, podcast host, #1 international bestselling author, founder of Suzanne Tybalt Academy, and she helps people deepen their relationship with animals and believes love makes all things possible. Her chapter title is Love Makes All Things Possible. Starts on page 13 for anyone following along in the book. Enjoy this beautiful share from Suzanne. I'd love for you to share why this book called to you, something that touched your heart and spirit about it, and any message that you received today on your heart to share. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm so grateful to be here. Spike Tech listeners are doing it. Okay, I leaned into the Animal Legacies book because I am a true at-heart animal lover. As an animal communicator and spiritual life coach, I help both people and animals to heal their emotional wounds from their own years. And this book truly spoke to me because I shared about my truth about Wiggle. And Wiggle is the one who taught me that love makes all things possible. And she taught me this because I grew up in a very dysfunctional family as a child. And my parents, I don't want to do the whole chapter story, but my parents basically abandoned me for 2 weeks while they took a vacation. And Wiggles was there with me. And in my trauma, I heard her say to me, "You're not alone. I'm here with you and I love you." And Wiggles saved my life because her love was bigger than my fear.
Perfect. I love that. We were having a little bit of trouble hearing in the very beginning there. Do you mind sharing just the opening a little bit again?
So, hi, I'm Suzanne Tebow, animal communicator and soul life coach. And we're moving through the glitches, so thank you everyone for sticking with us. My chapter is Love Makes All Things Possible in the Animal Legacies, and I leaned into that book with Rebecca because I'm a true animal lover.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. We have a little reverberation. We're going to take a moment to fix. Right now it is muted. Do you want me to unmute? So. How about this? Is what you always want to do. So testing live. That sounds good, Ariel. Thank you. You have stuck with us through all of the testing behind the scenes. I want to thank you for that. Appreciate it. This sounds good. Great. Okay, good. So we're going to move forward with this. It's a little bit different structure than we had set up originally, but this way we will be able to hear everybody. Suzanne, thank you so much for your beautiful share and jumping right in and even repeating a little bit. I appreciate that, the beautiful grace and holding space for that us. And with that, Suzanne, was there anything else on your heart that you wanted to be able to share in addition to your share? I just wanted to give you another moment because I know we were working with the sound there a little bit. So if we could have Suzanne on for just a moment, see if she has any more. Yay!
So can you
Hi.
hear me?
I can.
Okay, all right. The only other thing I wish to share for all animal lovers is that the legacy that animals leave imprinted upon our heart is that we are truly their partners in life and we are better hands and paws together.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that, hands and paws together. That's tweetable. That's a beautiful image. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Beautiful. Thank you. Great. And then it does look like tech team, we've got 2 of my squares on the screen. That's how it's going to be. So we get the full color version and the one that doesn't have color, and that's how it's going to be today, but at least we'll be able to hear each other, which will be great. So continuing on with our beautiful introductions, I wanted to introduce Neelam. So Neelam, we're going to pull you up here as I do an introduction. Excited to have you joining us. So Neelam Wadahi is a talented writer, has a master's degree in cross-cultural education with credentials in teaching. She has taught English as a second language to students in Japan, Switzerland, and across the United States. Beautiful. And she is a #1 international best-selling author. Very excited to have you joining us. Her beautiful, just a heartwarming chapter starts on page 21 called My First Nephew. Please lean in and warmly welcome the beautiful and heart-centered Neelam Wadhahi to the show. Welcome. And make sure to unmute so we can hear you.
Okay, I just unmuted myself.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Neela Wadwani, and I am very happy to be here, and I feel very privileged. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Rebecca, for putting this book together.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thrilled to have you.
Well, this story I had been telling actually for probably about 7 years to anybody and everybody who'd listen. And it was about this tiny little creature that had just walked into all of our lives and had changed my sister back into that happy, idealistic, joyful person that she was once upon a time. She had gone through a lot up until that point, and it had made her more skeptical about the world, and as such, she wasn't very happy. And yet, the moment I saw her walk in the door with Humphrey, her little magical dog, I was, the only thing I can say without exaggerating too much is I was really stunned at how that dog had reached Monica, the way we had all been trying to for a while, but we couldn't. And it changed her in such a way that she's never changed back. And I think that is why I could not refer to him just as her pet or a dog or a new pet or a Pomeranian or a teeny weeny thing. I elevated him to the position of nephew. So I called him my first nephew because I didn't have a nephew at that time. So I wasn't offending anybody. Well, see, I mean, in cultures, you really have to, be aware, if people look back on this and say, well, hey, what about me? I'm just like, well, you aren't born yet. So, but the way he has impacted her is absolutely amazing. And I don't think that she would be as blissful today as she is without that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love how your chapter shares from his perspective too in it. It's just,
Yeah, dogs are very concrete. And my sister kept teaching me that also recently. And they see and feel what's going on right now. And though they may continue to suffer from a broken leg or something like that, they don't really hold everybody responsible for pain in the past. And so I think both Monica and Pomfret were very, very fortunate to find each other. And even though I say fortunate, I don't think it was a coincidence. I think things come into your life when they are meant to.
yes.
And they were both brokenhearted. They felt that they were damaged, but there's no such thing as a damaged human being or a damaged living being like a dog. And I think when they met each other, there was synchronicity or serendipity or providence or whatever it is you want to call it. And it elevated both of them.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate your willingness to jump on live on our very organic experience today and sharing so much from the heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Great. Well, then I'm going to draw another card from our beautiful magical deck, Animal Legacies, as we get ready for our next amazing author, and we'll see what the message is. Ah, look at this. You are stronger than you think you are. Isn't that beautiful for us to remember? And that's from Nala, Mama Bear Kitty, provided by Jamie Harnicle. So beautiful, beautiful reminder that we are stronger than we think, and we can share and show up in all kinds of environments and make a difference in being there and being willing to be seen and heard. And that's what our beautiful authors are doing today. They're willing to unexpectedly shine and share. And I really appreciate that. So thank you, everybody, for leaning in. I'm going to introduce our next amazing author that is jumping into going live with us today. It's our beautiful Ariel Asher. She is a #1 best-selling author, speaker, teacher, holistic healing master, intuitive guide, and voice and presence coach in the field of self-care and personal development for 25 years. She is an advocate for self-care and women in leadership. I know you're going to enjoy her share. She provided multiple chapters actually in our book, which we are excited about. Her first chapter is titled Easter's Story and starts on page 43. And her second chapter starts on page 119 called A Force of Nature. Please warmly welcome the beautiful and powerful Ariel Asher to the show. Welcome.
Woo-hoo! All right. Oh, Rebecca, thank you so much for having us here today. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here. And it's true, I double dipped in the Animal Legacies book. It's true. I loved both of my chapters. Well, the first chapter that I wrote, Easter's Story, literally my grandmother had been telling me for years, and she's since passed. And actually, when I when I decided to do the book, I was going to write about my dog Max, who had recently passed, and I thought that was so significant. But it turned out that I wrote about Easter and Easter's story that my grandmother had been telling me for years to write, because he unexpectedly passed. Well, he was 17 years old. I hope none of our listeners are thinking that it was anything. I mean, he had a really, really great life. But the story of Easter's story is about how he found me, and it's pretty amazing. We think he was from Fresno. That's a little punchline from the book, and I live in San Jose, so you'll have to read the story to figure that part out. And my second chapter, A Force of Nature, is not only about Twinkie, the dog that I got maybe 5 months or 6 months after Easter passed. It was a little while, but also how she came to me, because she came to me in a series of dreams. And then I was, I call it doggy Tinder. I was shopping online. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I saw a dog that reminded me of a dog that I saw in my dream, and I just felt divinely guided to have her in my life, and she helped me heal my heart. So I definitely appreciate her presence in my life. And although I really miss Easter, but it's very interesting. I feel somehow that he had something to do with Twinkie being around in our lives. So she's our little force of nature, and she definitely lives up to her name.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And is there any message you can think of today that you would like to share from one of your chapters? Just a reminder for us, or something to carry with us today?
Rebecca, it's my belief that animals are what connect us to nature. I mean, that no nonsense relationship of just straight heart connection, and really that empathy and that connection. I think it helps calibrate us with all of nature, exploring our relationships with animals. I think it's very important for our own self-care. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I would want to arm everybody with. I did pick a card, so I want to pick a card. I hope you don't mind. I want to chime in with cards, because I love cards, and I'm super excited because I picked one that is from Twinkie, and it's from her. I actually picked one of my own, and this card fits her so well. It says, "Let's go."
Perfect.
Get outside and play. Don't waste a minute of this precious day. So that is Miss Force of Nature's message for everyone today.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I love it. Our tech team is clapping behind the scenes here. So thank you. Beautiful share. Great reminder. Oh, I love it. I love it. Great. And then let's see. I got a note, Raina, that you want to join in and share. So I'm excited about that. I don't have a formal introduction prepared for you, but I'd love that. That's okay. But I would love to have you share a little bit about yourself and your beautiful chapter. Oh, is Raina?
Her email to send her the link. She doesn't have the link.
Oh, okay. So I was jumping ahead of the tech team. Raina, we would love to bring you on. If you can log into the private Facebook group that we have for the authors, you'll find the link there to be able to log in. We've got it pinned to the top, and then we'll be able to bring you in. So if you can go to the private Facebook group, any authors that are watching today that wanted to chime in, go to the private Facebook group that we have, and you'll find the link to be able to join us. So that's a little bit of a cliffhanger. We will have information from Raina soon, so be looking forward to that. Our next introduction, let me just get a signal from the tech team so I'm not running ahead. Do we have Dr. Michelle? Okay, great. So Dr. Michelle, you are going to be up next. Dr. Michelle Petacola is a #1 international bestselling author, national speaker, life coach, and gifted artist. She has a PhD in sociology with over 18 years' experience coaching people through major life challenges. She is a workshop leader and is passionate about helping you live a life without regret. Her chapter starts on page 93 and is titled Animal Spirit Guides. Enjoy this beautiful share by Dr. Michelle Petacola. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much for inviting me and joining me on your stage. And the message I want to share with our viewers about animals is that you don't necessarily have to have a pet to have them have an impact on you. That there are other ways in which animals connect with us, both in the wild and even in our imagination. In fact, the first 2 stories I share in my chapter are about animals that are not flesh and blood. One of them being an imaginary herd of horses, and the other one being, I guess, what you would call my alter ego, which was a drawing of this purple dinosaur, because as a child I felt very insecure, and so the dinosaur was a way for me to feel more empowered. But the story that got me to do this chapter was actually a flesh and blood Siamese male cat. And we had a contract from the moment he came into my life. I got him at one of the animal shelters, and I was looking for an animal that was going to teach me how to be a better nurturer. Because at the time, I was running a group home for teenage girls. And I realized that they really needed love, and I didn't know quite how to give it. So I go to the animal shelter to get a kitten so I could learn how to be motherly, right? And instead, I end up with this male, almost fully grown cat. And I'm like, what am I thinking about? But if you've ever gone to the animal shelter, you know that animals will reach out to you, that they will connect with you. And once they make that connection, they're irresistible. So I brought him home, and he actually did teach me how to nurture in ways that were totally at odds with being a male cat. From nurturing the kitten that we brought home for him to eventually be his partner, to the kittens that she brought in to the world, to every time he would welcome me when I came into the house, that he wanted that connection, and he taught me a lot. So I encourage people the audience out there, to check in with their experiences. There's so much we can learn from animals, because I guess it was Ariel said, they're unconditional love. They're just such pure love that there's nothing in the way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love your story. I love how animals in all different ways have touched your life so powerfully, that you share so beautifully. And I know in your blogs and some of your shares out there, you've shown us pictures of the dinosaur and horses. So I encourage people to really get to know Dr. Michelle and follow her blogs and get to know her amazing I'm calling them creations and creatures that can support us on our journey and help us through life changes. Thank you so much for joining us to share today. Anything else on your heart? Final share?
I want to share how much participating in your anthology actually grew me. That by telling these stories, that's the amazing thing, is by telling the stories, something transforms inside. That I understood more about my mother and my relationship with my family from telling these stories.
Oh, so beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. And I love how the transformation happens for the amazing co-authors like Dr. Michelle. Like, we get to go deeper. I know for myself, it's the same way. As I'm writing, I go deeper and I discover more things about myself, and I get to bring those forward. And then in sharing those stories, those chapters, we get to help our readers also go deeper and grow and learn. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Beautiful. So I'm going to draw another card and see what the message is. Okay. Oh, this is from, so Susan Tybolt provided this. It's love is bigger than fear. And this is from Odie, Master Teacher Dog. So beautiful wisdom to support us on our journey. I'm going to check with my tech team really fast to see if I missed any of our Raina. Oh, Raina. Okay, Raina, great. I'm glad you're able to get into the site that we're able to bring you forward. So we're going to bring the amazing Raina aboard. Raina, I'm going to have you share a little bit about yourself. And she has an amazing gift to connect with dolphins and bring their healing energy to the world. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful Raina Lombard to the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Rebecca. It's such a pleasure to be with all these amazing authors and hear about the wisdom of the animals in their lives and their pets that have been so meaningful to them.
Raina, I'm so sorry to introduce you, to stop you for just a moment.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's such a pleasure to be with all these amazing.
Oh, so Raina, can you mute your? There's something on your side that's reverberating. Oh, you have two systems. So okay. Okay, so Raina, I'm going to welcome you again. And if you can unmute just the one that you're speaking into, that will be perfect. Oh, I can't hear you now. Oh, is that? Okay, Raina, I'm sorry, Raina, just a moment. So Raina, can you hit unmute on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Oh, wonderful.
Yay, welcome.
Instead of two. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so
Raina, I'm sorry, Raina, just a moment. So Raina, can you hit unmute on your? Yes. Somehow there's a delay and it's replaying. Okay, great.
Oh, wonderful. I only see one microphone.
Just one microphone that you're speaking into. Can you close? Are there any other browsers? You might have the window open still that you were listening on. I bet that's what's going on.
Let me. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We just want to hear you clearly.
I was a participant.
Yeah, let's close the participant one.
Oh, okay.
Are there any other browsers? You might have the window open still that you were listening on. I bet that's what's going on.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yes. Hear you clearly. So you can mute the participant
as well.
Participant one.
Yeah.
Did we get that one? Oh, we lost Raina. Okay, so Raina will hopefully join back in just a moment. And while we're waiting for Raina to join us, any of our participants who are enjoying a very organic, we're keeping it very real kind of show today, any sort of comments, you can feel free to send those to us. We're able to take those. Any questions, any positive love, connecting, supporting energy, we would love and receive as well for each of our authors who on the spot are willing to share from their heart. As you're collecting your thoughts, I wanted to share just a little bit about the book from my perspective. As the compiler and the leader, I have the opportunity to also not just lead the project, but be part of the project. And I actually contributed several different chapters in the book, and I just wanted to share a little bit about those. while we're giving Raina a moment to log back in. So the first chapter I contributed was called Patches, the Christmas Cat, and it shares the story of Patches, who some of the kids in the neighborhood called him the cow cat because he had that kind of a print on him, black and white. And he was a cat that was just a gift to everybody who came across him. He had a gift of calming people, loved life. And the reason we call him the Christmas cat is that's when we adopted him in the Christmas season. He was actually on display in a Neiman Marcus window. They were helping support animals that needed homes and getting adopted. And so we were excited to find him on a business trip, and we had to convince the driver to let us take him home. And Patches was able to charm him. We even promised he could name the cat, whatever it would take to be able to bring him home. And we were able to bring him home, and he became just an amazing part of our life and so many people's lives. So it's a story about him. And then we have another cat that I wrote a story about called Lessons from the Tada Cat and Mocha Bean. And many of you who have been to our events would have experienced some of the stories that I share about the Tada Cat. And what she really taught me was how to show up, to take center stage, not to shrink back, but to really have fun, make an entrance and be present in your life and really share that. And Mocha taught me to be kind and trusting. No matter what has come to you, be willing to lean in with kindness and trust. So that's just a couple of the chapters. There's quite a few in here. I got very excited about the subject matter. The one that I haven't talked about, but I alluded to earlier, is called Squirrels and Shrews and Crows. Oh my. And I share stories of different animals that have come across my life and path, including crows, who my grandma and I always talked about. She used to have crows that would come outside her window several times a year as they were passing through and eat the cherries. But the cherries had fermented, if I'm saying that correctly. They got drunk on the cherries, and they would block the road, and anybody coming by being very loud and rambunctious. And whenever I hear crows, I think of my grandmother, and I think of the joy and the gusto and embracing that moment and life. And even if the unexpected things cross our path, to embrace it, the moment, to celebrate and to find joy in it. And that's something that crows always make me smile and remind me of. With that, do we have Raina? Raina is back. Okay, fabulous. So Raina, we are going to bring you back on. We are thrilled and excited to have you share. Welcome again to the stage, Rita.
Yay. I have to admit, the dolphins haven't been helping me with my technology, but my husband has been, so he's been really thank you.
Aww.
Thank you again. I was a little late getting on as one of the authors, but I'm very happy to introduce a little bit about myself. I'm a marriage and family therapist that do a lot of energy and sound healing. I help people access their higher selves and bring through amazing messages. And a lot of these messages in my own personal life are from the dolphins and the whales. And my chapter is Dolphins, Adventures in Healing and Transformation. It's so wonderful. Since 1997, I connected with a dolphin researcher, and she turned me on to her book, Dolphin Tribe, and her cassette at that time. And I did a lot of meditation with the cassette, and it connected me with dolphins. And I've learned so much about them over the years, swimming with them in Hawaii. Actually, I did a retreat with a number of people, and it was just so magical and wonderful to be in the water with the dolphins snorkeling and experience their high energy. And what they bring to the planet is so phenomenal. They teach us so much about humor and having fun in our lives and feeling joyful and being connected with our higher self. as far as friendship and being kind and compassionate. They're obviously very humorous and fun. They play a lot, and it gets you in a very fun mood being in the energy of them in the water, or even in the meditations that you have with them. And also they're very telepathic, and they use their sonar to actually see what's going on levels that most humans just cannot do. So they have a real healing quality to them, and being in their energy field is very healing. And if you put out an intention that you want a healing of body, mind, spirit, if you need soul work, the dolphins are tuned into you and will really assist you in healing your life and your health, your relationships, even, your career, whatever it is that's up for you. The dolphins are there to be your partner. And I've learned this over the years, and it just deepens my respect for the dolphin realm and all the gifts that they bring us, that I'm sharing with a lot of other people through this chapter and in my work with them, and also writing my chapters in the book. I wrote a bunch of different articles on my website. So it's exciting. Can I give my website?
I love it. Well, two
Okay.
things. Can you share what page your beautiful chapter starts on?
Oh, yes.
You can look it up. 107.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. And absolutely, you can give your website.
The one that's connected with this chapter is dolphinhealingadventure.com. Beautiful. And there's lots of photos, and you get a sense of what I do on my retreats.
Oh, love it. And is there any special message from the dolphins today that you have, or you're feeling on your heart? I know sometimes you're given messages for us. So.
Yes, especially in this era of COVID. It's stay the course. You are loved, and you are making a major difference on the planet. So just stay in your heart and just be yourself. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Rebecca.
Oh, you're
to all of you. Blessings. Many blessings.
Beautiful. And I had one of the beautiful videos that we had prepared that you're just going to be excited about watching for the replay on. There was a share in one of the chapters I wanted to share with you today. I keep looking. I'm used to looking at the camera here, so I apologize if I'm looking down. There's multiple cameras, so I'll try to look at the correct one for everybody. And this was provided by Jamie Harnagle. And it is, dear reader, what are animals in your life saying to you? What are they bringing into your life? How are they sharing their gifts with you? Take a moment to lean in and listen, feel, and experience the magic of these powerful connections. Feel the love. I want us to take a moment together as we're connecting. Breathe in that love. Hold it in our hearts. Feel it throughout your body, your spirit. Send that love that is coming to you. You're sending it a hug, love, and support. And then we're sending it back out into the world. This is part of making a global difference. It's heart by heart, life by life, spirit by spirit, connecting in. And animals are an important part of that connection and that love and supporting each of us. And we can support each of them as well. And it's important that we come together united with that intention to lift each other up. For anyone that is wanting to get a copy of the book, again, so you can see it, it's The Animal Legacies. You can find it on Amazon. You're able to get a copy directly there. You will also see something that looks very similar but is different. So I want you to know about it. And it's called the Animal Legacies Journal. Do you see how that's very similar but different? But one says journal, the other doesn't. One has a little gold #1 international bestseller symbol. The other one is the journal. So I want you to know they're both there. They're both available, but they are different. So I want to make sure when you're clicking, you are getting the one that you are intending to get. And then the journal, just for those of you who are like, oh, I didn't know there was a journal. What's that about? It's an opportunity for you to spend some time deliberately connecting in with what animals are saying to you in your daily life. So there's some directions that are given to help you go a little bit deeper, to pause. And one of my favorite features, I don't know if this will show up on the camera, I'm going to try. So right in the corner, you can kind of see right here, these are little paw prints and they rotate. So you see little paw prints on the journals, and then you see this is little heart circle paw prints. And there's these little touches that are just kind of fun, love, that encourage you as you're going deeper and taking notes. So we just encourage you, if you are a journal person, if you're looking for a tool to help you on your journey, we wanted to make that available to you. But I just wanted you to aware it looks very similar, but they're different. So you're clear on that. And if anyone is interested in getting your own beautiful deck of the Animal Legacy cards, we do have those available. You can just send me an email, Rebecca@yourpurposedrivenpractice. Again, that's Rebecca@yourpurposedrivenpractice.com, and I can let you know the details. So you can get a copy of whatever is calling to your heart that will be of support to you, and it would be an honor to connect in with you. With that, are there any, I'm checking with my tech team. I wanted to give people an opportunity if there were comments, any other authors. It looks like we are complete. So we had an opportunity to hear from everybody. I want to thank all of our amazing authors for leaning in. Thank you all for hanging with us with the tech issues and the delays. I so appreciate that. I could feel your love and your support and encouragement to help us connect, and we persevered and we're able to. It will be even better next time. Every time we are embracing new technology and finding ways to connect live, we're going to get better and better. So thank you everybody for sharing, leaning in, joining us today. We look forward to our next amazing connection. It's been an honor and a pleasure to connect with you today. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.